Say, man, who's that cat coming down the street?
I don't know, but it sounds to me like that's just the man with the bone.
Sure having himself a ball.
When I was doing a podcast with Craig O'Neill, he talked about his happy place being a bookstore, and it gave me an idea with Sidney Moncrief's new book to do it at Barnes & Noble and at the cafe there. And as you can see, we got a limited space, but it'll be enough space for a podcast, and I'm sure guests that want to come and go will have no problem. Okay, Cracker Barrel might be an idea, or I'm sure Corky's with Joe Klein. We might find a podcast coming off there at some point. Just trying to be creative in our podcast. Two great friends, Jay Gadberry, super fan, and Gary Adams, Hall of Famer. All right, the question is, well, a Hall of Famer or a Hall of Shamer? But I did play on a team that won the state championship, and my coach was J.B. Dickey, and his son James Dickey was connected with Eddie Sutton. All right, and just another reminder that's coming up on May 16th at 6 o'clock at Barnes & Noble in the cafe. And there will be limited space, but come and see how we do a podcast. My friend Dale at church he didn't come up with a Cuban cigar, but it was probably the next best thing is a Dominican Republic cigar. So I wanted to video this and give it to Dale because he went to a lot of effort. I think he thought he was going to bring it over and Sandy could smoke it, but she opted out of that, which I knew that she would. So I'm going to see if I can get this thing lit. Maybe I don't ever really smoke, but I guess in younger days I tried something. We had a service station, and you had all kinds of access to things in that service station, and so but I really never did do much of that because you couldn't really play basketball or any athletics. There's a funny story that's in Sidney Moncrief's book about him getting caught smoking a cigarette and how he got in trouble with the coach and didn't get to play for a while, and really it was just kind of a thing that he didn't think anything about at the time, but it was something that he felt like that you have to be careful. And I know that in athletics or anything that you have to be careful what you do, but I thought, well, I just smoke a cig since we're getting this thing all lined up for Sidney to do the book signing and also the podcast mainly, that I thought I just kind of smoked this cigar that Dale gave me, and as I say, I don't really know what I'm doing. I remember growing up that my dad played golf with Bob Wheeler, and this was the dad of Bobby Wheeler, and And I can remember him always having a cigar, but not necessarily ever smoking it. So I think that was the whole thing, is he would have one and he'd have it available. But, you know, I still kind of keep up with Bobby. I know he's had some difficulties because of a stroke he's had, but it's kind of giving him some limitations. So I'll just smoke this to days of Twin Lakes, and when we did some things together there and started the cable software. So I'm gonna see if I can get my thing here to light this and see if it gets to puffing here. Know if it ever gets going or not. I couldn't get my big lighter to. I never used that before. We were thinking about that for the fireplace, and I think Sandy said you'd be able to use just matches, so we kind of got to use that a little bit. But I wanted to do this for Dale. I'm gonna make sure he gets a good picture of this. Dale has a history of doing some things with the Heffley family, and spent some time in Newton County remodeling a house down there. And so we've been kind of talking about Newton County, and I think he likes the memories of Newton County, and I think he's a guy that has been around, but he fixes bacon. And we have that at church on Sunday morning, and he has it right before we have church. He's in between class and church, and we have some donuts and bacon, which is kind of unusual, but that's part of the deal.
I always like to give special notice to our group at Rocksteady Boxing in Harrison.